name's Keith, and I'm one of the UK team of ghostwriters for LifeBook Memoirs. Been working for LifeBook for about 4 years now, and I've completed a good number of projects for the company. When I first spoke to LifeBook about the possibility of doing some ghostwriting with them, they asked why I was interested in doing this kind of work. The answer is that I've been working as a writer in various capacities for quite a long time now. I write novels, short stories. I've done some pieces of journalism and reviewing. I've worked in the academic world, writing academic books, lecturing about writing, doing educational writing. I've done all sorts of things. And what underlies all of that is basically that I like telling stories. I like finding ways to communicate these stories to people in a way that they can engage with. And one of the things that intrigued me about ghostwriting for LifeBook was that it was an opportunity to help other people find the ways to tell their stories. And it's something that I've been doing professionally for a long, long time, but for most people, writing a book's quite daunting. Having someone who can take their stories and their words and their experiences and put them together in a way that tells that story from right from the start through to where they are now. It's something that I can bring to that process, and it's something that I've thoroughly enjoyed in all the projects that I've worked on. I can write stories, I can tell stories, I can bring people's stories out. One of the interesting things is that because we have this process where it goes through several stages and several people and then goes back to the author, is one of the things that I do when I'm writing, doing my part of the work, is I identify gaps in the stories. Where maybe they've skipped a few years to get to the interesting bits, or where a story's been mentioned in passing, but we don't know anything more about it. And often what happens is that people skip through the dull bits of their own life. But one of our jobs is to remind the author that what might be dull to them isn't dull to their reader. Everybody has stories to tell. Everybody has something interesting. And that's one of the things that the LifeBook team do, is help identify those stories and help tease them out so that we get the details. And so when they appear in a book, they're fully rounded stories with the author's memories of them, but also how it made them feel, the details of it all, that are fascinating to somebody who's reading the story. You know, somebody's grandchild reading a story of somebody's very ordinary life just after the Second World War. That's fascinating. It might seem ordinary to the person who's telling the story, but it isn't to the rest of us. One of the things that I was quite surprised to learn is that there are scary parts of the process for me too. As I say, I've been a professional writer for a good many years now. But when I've done the first interviews, I've written them up, I've tried to find the author's voice so that when somebody reads it, it sounds like that person has written it rather than some complete stranger. And that, for the first time, my write-up goes back to the author and they're reading it through. There's a period of a week or two where I know I've sent it back and I know that person's reading it and I don't know what their reaction's going to be. They might be horrified. They might say, this is nothing like me. It doesn't sound like me at all. And for me, that's quite a scary thing. So I'm waiting until I get this feedback from the author. And it's good that I'm scary because it shows that I care. But in all the projects that I've done, the authors have always been really pleased. They've always been happy to see their stories on the page and that it sounds like them writing it. We do tweak things, obviously, to adjust it to get the tone of voice just right. Um, but it's always very minor things. It's for me, one of the most satisfying things is when someone says, "Yeah, that just sounds like me." It's very rewarding to do. When I tell people that I'm a writer and I say that I've written all these novels and short stories, and that also I do ghostwriting, helping people write their memoirs, um, it's often the ghostwriting that people are more interested in than all the other stuff that I do. And I think that says quite a lot. I think other people can see the value in what we're doing here. Um, we're keeping these stories alive. We're bringing them to future generations in that family. Um, we're telling people stories, or rather, we're helping them tell their stories and helping them find their voice. And to me, that's the best part of the whole thing. Um, it's helping people share their story in a way that sounds like them with the people that they care about. And there's not much that's more that's as satisfying as that for me in all of the writing that I do. And I've been very pleased to be a part of this whole process as many times as I have.